The real estate world is getting a massive tech upgrade. So today, we're going to break down 3 specific innovations in automation, AI, and fintech that are totally changing the game for agents, buyers, and sellers. All right, let's dive in. You've heard it a million times, right? Location, location, location. Well, that's just not the whole picture anymore. Today, the single biggest force shaping the entire industry, from how we search for a home to how we actually sell one, is technology. It's literally the new foundation everything else is being built on. Okay, so let's kick things off from the agent's point of view. Think about it. What's their single biggest challenge? It's always time. So much of an agent's day gets swallowed up by these repetitive marketing tasks, and that pulls them away from what they should be doing, focusing on their clients. But a new partnership is aiming to fix exactly that. Now, at the heart of this solution is something they call a closed-loop workflow. And that sounds super technical, right? But the idea is actually incredibly simple. Basically, it's about putting an end to the soul-crushing copy and paste routine. It's all about a system where information just flows automatically from one tool to another and then back again with zero friction. Okay, so what does this actually look like in practice? Well, a company called Rechat has teamed up with the design platform Canva to make it happen. First, all the live listing data, we're talking photos, the price, descriptions, it all gets piped directly from the MLS right into Canva. Then agents can use that live data to create beautiful marketing materials, like instantly using templates. And then the best part, the finished design pushes right back to Rechat, all ready for one-click sharing. No downloading, no re-uploading, it just works. And the benefits for agents, they're huge. They no longer have to waste time jumping back and forth between different apps. And get this, no more manually typing in property details, which means you can pretty much say goodbye to those embarrassing typos. It even syncs up their official headshots and profiles automatically. The whole process, from making the design to sending it out, it's all rolled into one super efficient workflow. Yeah, Chris Hadges over at Canva just nails it when he says the goal is to empower agents to turn live property data into polished, on-brand marketing materials in minutes. Minutes. That's not just a small improvement. That is a massive leap forward in productivity. All right, so that's the agent's world. Let's pivot and look at this from the home buyer's perspective. Their journey can be so frustrating, right? You're overloaded with information, and even worse, a lot of that information is inconsistent. This is where AI is stepping in to actually help build trust. Have you ever been there? You're looking for a house online, and you see one price on one website, but then a totally different price or different photos on another site. It's so confusing, right? And it just completely tanks your trust in what you're seeing. And the real problem here is just how messy and fragmented a modern home search is. You're bouncing between Google searches, ads on social media, all these different real estate portals, and then maybe you land on the builder's website. With that many different places to look, it's incredibly easy for the info to get out of sync. And what's the end result of all that chaos? Total confusion for the buyer and, you guessed it, a complete breakdown of trust. It creates this huge roadblock right at the very beginning of their journey. So to tackle this head-on, the homebuilder PulteGroup started using a tool called SitecoreAI. You can almost think of it like a central command center or a brain for all their listings. It manages one single official source of truth for all the property info. Then it pushes that verified info out to every single platform, making sure that no matter where a buyer is looking, they see the exact same accurate current details. And according to PulteGroup's CIO, Mike Gould, the whole point is to ensure an integrated process across all digital channels. What he really means is that it shouldn't matter if you start your search on Google or on some obscure listing site. The experience and the information you see are designed to be seamless and trustworthy from that very first click. All right, last but definitely not least, let's talk about the seller. For so many homeowners, the single biggest hurdle to getting top dollar for their home is coming up with the cash needed to get it ready for the market. But what if you could take that barrier and just get rid of it completely? That's what a new fintech partnership is doing. Yeah, you're seeing that right. It's not a typo. This new model lets sellers do all those crucial pre-listing upgrades with zero, and I mean zero, money out of pocket. How? The cost of all the work just gets paid for when the home sells, at closing. Simple as that. And look, this is tackling a huge problem in the market. A home that needs a bit of work, maybe it's been well-loved for decades, or maybe it was a renter property with some wear and tear, it often has a tough time attracting buyers. And the result is always the same. It sits on the market way longer and ends up selling for less money. And we're not talking about a full-blown tear-down-the-walls renovation here. We're talking about the smart, high-impact stuff that really gets buyers excited. Things like a fresh coat of paint, some modern light fixtures, cleaning up the landscaping, or getting it professionally staged. These are the kinds of updates that can completely change how a property feels. I mean, when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. The old way, you had to come up with a ton of cash up front to fix up the place, and it could still end up sitting on the market. This new model from Simplify Home and Notable completely flips the script. The cost is pushed to the closing, the home looks amazing and is ready for buyers, and it's set up to sell way faster. It just makes sense for everyone. So, okay, when you pull back and look at these three different pieces, one for the agent, one for the buyer, and one for the seller, you start to see a single, really powerful theme emerging. The future of real estate is being designed to be, well, frictionless. Just think about it for a second. All those old points of friction are getting replaced. Manual, repetitive work for agents? Gone. Replaced by automation. Those confusing info gaps for buyers? Gone. Replaced by consistency and a single source of truth. And those high financial barriers for sellers? Gone. Replaced by accessibility. And this is the really crucial point right here. This isn't just about adding some flashy features to an app. What we're actually seeing is technology fundamentally rewiring the entire real estate process. It's actively building a new experience that's more efficient, way more transparent, and ultimately a lot more accessible for everyone involved. So yeah, from freeing up an agent's time, to building a buyer's trust, to knocking down a seller's financial walls, tech is solving real-world problems. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? With all this amazing progress, what's the next big pain point in the real estate journey that's just waiting for its own tech upgrade?